Hi, my name is Mallory Lamb, and I have been working out with Beachbody for a little over a year now. I am a full-time counselor, and I specialize in eating disorders. I work at a treatment center for eating disorders. So it just feels so important to spread awareness and education about eating disorders. And so today I just wanted to provide some basic education on eating disorders and what does that look like to reach out for help in case you or you have a loved one that may experience an eating disorder. So just some basic facts about eating disorders. It is the number one cause of death among mental illnesses right now. Approximately 23 million Americans will have an eating disorder in their lifetime, and only about 20 to 30% will actually seek treatment for it. So just some basic facts about eating disorders. The first one that I want to talk about is anorexia. So typically when we think about anorexia, we think of somebody who is an extremely small and thin body, which can certainly be the case, but we can see anorexia in any size body and any body type or size. So typically cultures likes to think that you have to just be like where you can actually see your bones, which is not the case. So anorexia is where you are restricting your food, and restriction does not always mean that you are not eating. Restriction could mean that you are just under portioning, or you're only eating one meal a day, or you only eat 2 meals a day, but they're extremely small portions, way smaller than what your body needs. So it could be, another sign could be significant weight loss. It could be excessive exercising, so typical normal exercising could be like 30 minutes to 45 minutes a day for about 5 to 6 days a week. If it gets to the point where you feel like you can absolutely not take a rest day, or you literally plan your whole day around your workout, you're going to skip missing dinner or happy hour with your friends to go work out, or it's just like an obsession with working out, or where it's like 2 workouts a day or 3 or 4 hours a day of working out, then that is typically called excessive exercising. So typically with anorexia too, there could be diet pill use, laxative use, which are honestly just going to make you poop, but they are not healthy anyway. So it could be a extreme obsession with losing weight. It can be an extreme fear of gaining weight. And anorexia does not discriminate on age. It can happen at any age range. There's a lot of different factors as to what causes anorexia, but that is one type of eating disorder. Another type is binge eating disorder. So typically what binge eating means is eating an excessive amount of calories, typically about how many calories you would probably need in a day, all in one sitting. And so typically some warning signs, what that might look like is restricting food during the day and under portioning. And then at the end of the day, at night, you just feel out of control around food and you just eat a ton of food. And sometimes that happens at night. Binge eating can happen at any time during the day, really. But that's typically the cycle that we see. With binge eating, it could be that you are hiding in a closet or hiding in a car or have a secret stash of food or eating an entire bag of chips or an entire carton of ice cream all in one sitting. It's something where it's an extreme calorie intake. Another form of eating disorder is bulimia. And so what that looks like is it has a function of, it could be the restriction as well. It could be the main piece is the binging. So typically what happens is with the binging is when somebody is taking in an excessive amount of calories and then they end up purging after they eat the excessive amount of calories. So purging means making yourself throw up. And so typically if somebody is trying to go to the bathroom immediately after eating and they make themselves throw up, means that they're purging. A lot of times we see where people will underreport or say, well, I've only purged or in binge about like once a month, which is still not good at the end of the day. And a lot of times it's like, well, at the end of the day, that's still purging and that's still binging. And so there is like a problem of being really sick. All the other things I said before about fear of weight gain or obsession with losing weight or restriction or compulsive exercising could fall under the same umbrella as bulimia as well. Another new eating disorder this is not in the DSM yet, but it is hoped to be in the next diagnostic criteria, but it's called orthorexia, and it's an obsession with eating healthy. So this right now, it's really prevalent in today's culture where somebody only chooses to eat something that has like a certain number of ingredients, whether it's like 5 ingredients, 7 ingredients, 10 ingredients. Somebody who says, I will only eat organic and nothing else, or very obsessed with reading labels, and to the point where it's disruptive to life, where you can't go out to eat with friends, you can't go to someone's house and eat whatever they prepared because you're obsessed with whatever is in the food. It could just look like, I will not eat anything that has sugar in it, I will not eat anything that has red dye in it, something that just feels really excessive and extreme in the name of health and wellness. So those are just some basic facts about eating disorders. And right now in today's culture, it's so common because disordered eating is just so prevalent. And a lot of times we say, like, this is all in health and wellness, or even in the name of Jesus and in the name of self-control, when it's like our body, if we are ignoring our hunger cues, then our hunger cues are telling our body, it's telling us we need more fuel. And it is such a beautiful thing that God gave us those hunger cues to tell us when we're needing more food. And some days we might be hungrier than others. That's just how it goes. Our weight will also fluctuate. That is totally normal. And there's not good or bad foods. Food is neutral, and all food provides nutrients and pleasure. And so if you find yourself just like relating with some of these things that I've said, where it just feels like, man, I don't know if my relationship with food is healthy or not, it just feels a little disordered. Maybe our relationship with exercise, if the exercise feels like I have to burn off all these calories, I have to compensate, that's kind of when you might be falling into a place where it's coming from a disordered place instead of from a place of wanting to be strong and healthy. And so if you find yourself just relating to any of the things, I always say, one, if there is really rapid weight loss, hair loss can also be a symptom of all of these things. There's a lot of health issues that come with eating disorders, can be very, very destructive to the body. But seeing a doctor, obviously, see if there's something else medically going on. I also say, if you relate to what I say and you think it could be an eating disorder, I say both and, in terms of seeing a doctor, but also seeing a dietitian and a counselor. Preferably, some dietitians they need to specialize in eating disorders because not all dietitians do. So kind of how you would know that is somebody who might practice intuitive eating or health at every size, or just it says on their bio that they specialize in eating disorders. Same with counselors, but I always say both and, because honestly, we've seen a lot of doctors who will not actually end up referring unless it's a really severe case for eating disorders. So there's also an eating disorder hotline. If you just Google ED hotline, the number will come up. But if you find yourself relating with this, or someone who might, please know I'm available here to be a resource for you guys if you have questions, and I can refer you or get you some help. But wanted to just provide some education around eating disorders. It's so important. So, okay, well, I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.